All
Are we on
right.
live?
We are live. Hello and welcome everyone to YouTube Live with William Linville. This is an opportunity to ask whatever questions are presenting for you. And I know we're live now.
Cool.
There we go. So today, William wanted to start us off with a live clearing of any and all energies, entities, and thought forms. So take it away, William.
Well, welcome everybody to the YouTube Live and the live stream and having a lot of fun. So right here, right now, I bind up, out, and away all entities, energies, thought forms, influences, interferences, and all of the lower level from the solar plexus down, influences, interferences, interruptions, and all the consequent reckoning effects of overwhelming burden, deep-seated fears, control, trying to be in control, but also being controlled by the ego, and all the consequent reckoning effect of all the makeup of the ego from first separation to now, and all of the internalized identification to the pain levels, emotional constructs, and conflicts, as well as all vows, contracts, and agreements. I bind up, out, and away all entities, energies, thought forms, as well as all vows, contracts, and agreements, and identifications, constructs, and conflicts, and all the cause-coded reckoning effect of them. I bind them all up, out, and away from your mind, body, all these zero ones, minds, bodies, and auras now, and all of their homes and surrounding areas now. And I bind it to the sun now, to be repolarized for the good of all humanity, never to return. I command it be replaced with their higher levels, their creator levels, their manifest levels now. And I command it also that creator consciousness come into, within, and through their homes and all the surrounding areas. And I command their entourages to begin surrounding them, surrounding their homes, purifying and divinitizing their homes and their spaces and places of rest, wherever their bodies are, right here, right now, in a body on a planet, to bring them clarity, purity, relaxation, openness, and vitality for their highest and best good, and for the highest best good of all concerned. And so it is spoken, and so it is done. And now let's just take a breath. Nice deep sigh. Close your eyes, focus towards the third eye, bringing your consciousness into the heart, which is a centralized chakra level vortex in the body, bringing yourself into clarity, vitality, communion, and connectedness. Bringing your consciousness within your heart and bringing it up through the heart, all the way up through the throat, the third eye, the crown chakra vortex, all the way through the mass collective thought forms, the mass collective consciousness, all the way through the astral planes, all the way to the sun. And just connecting with the sun right here, right now. Just holding your consciousness there, and then going beyond the sun into, within, and through your central sun intelligence, where you can start to feel that sense of home, that sense of communion, camaraderie, wholeness, vitality, and vibrancy within yourself and through yourself. And letting the whole universe, your whole creator benevolence, hold you, embrace you, surround you, love you. And now let's bring a stream of that consciousness all the way through the sun. Let's hold it there at the sun once again, letting the eyes begin to flicker, letting the body and the brain chemistry go into the theta brainwave, the pure, clear brainwave of clear, pure manifestation, letting it begin to go there, open up, animate, accelerate, right here, right now, right there, with more and more ebb and flow, more and more ease and grace, to support you, to complement you. And now, bringing it from the sun all the way through the astral planes, all the way through the mass collective thought forms, all the way down into within and through your crown chakra vortex at about 78 feet in diameter all around you, through your third eye, the front, middle, and back of the brain, through the back of the third eye, all the way through the frontal lobe of the brain, the midbrain, back of the brain, right, left sides of the brain, through your atlas and axis vertebrae, through the throat chakra vortex, through the rest of your cervical vertebrae, through your shoulders, your upper arms, lower arms, into and through the chakra level vortexes in the hands, all the way down through your sternum, your thoracic vertebrae, your heart chakra level vortex, front, middle, and back. Now down through your solar plexus, front, middle, and back, your navel, your lumbar vertebrae, your crater chakra vortex, front, middle, and back, down through the sacrum, the coccyx, the pelvic girdle. And now through the root chakra vortex, down your upper legs, your lower legs, into your feet. And now just taking another deep breath in through the nose, all the way down into your crater chakra level vortex, between the navel and the gender principle. Hold, and now exhaling as slow as you can through the mouth, letting go of all the tensions, the buildups, identifications, internalized pressure, and conflicts. Saying goodbye, 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 sayonara, namaste, have a blast. And bringing yourself to right here, right now, as yourself, cleared and purified. And now let's take another breath. Let's welcome back all of your energy, all of your power, all of your soul fragmentations back to yourself, right here, right now, cleared and purified. Where you can literally start to feel the body stamina coming back, your clarity coming back, cleared and purified. The clarity within the brain, the mind, without all the fuzziness, without all the fogginess, where you can really start to feel and experience you again. Absent of anyone else's, everyone else's, absent of any preoccupying thought forms, perceptions, belief systems, and just be right here, right now, as a clear and perfect conduit of divine love and truth that you are in your natural state. That's a muscle.
Wow. Thank you, William. That was amazing. Our first question comes down to when we as human beings feel a lot of responsibility for what others want, what others are asking for us. And the question is, can you explain what responsibility is and what we're really responsible for?
Yeah. This is kind of an interesting one, because when I look at responsibility, there's really only, if there is at all, it's really only one responsibility. I would call it your divine responsibility, if there's a responsibility at all. And it's your divine responsibility is to wake up to love. Wake up to your heart. To wake up to who you are, not about what you do, not about where you do. You could be a facilitator, you could be an instrument, a conduit, you could be an author, you could be an engineer, you could be hands-on, whatever. You could speak in tongues or speak without a tongue. I mean, it doesn't really matter what labels you want to give yourself. But for a minute, let's just take a breath. Let's put everything into perspective. That's all stuff that you do. It's what you do. It's not who you are. But when you look at others' wantings, great. Others are going to want this, they're going to want that, they're going to want that, they're going to want that. And hopefully one day will be an end. But looking at history, and everything else, just story, there seems to never be an end to others' wantings. So it's interesting, right? That's about them, not about you. Even if you have children, great. Your child wants this, your child wants that. If we get into agreements, blah, 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 okay, you agreed to lay down, become impregnated, or get another impregnated, whatever it may be. So therefore, you're bringing a dear one, another soul onto the planet through in vitro. Now, they go through the caves of creation. They've had the choice of 3 family monads. They chose you. They come into the planet. So, okay, yeah, you agreed to bring them of age. And what that really means is, okay, doing your best to steer them, to journey them with clarity, ideally, with how to function in a body on a planet, not survive. That's like going south really quick. How to function in a body on a planet to the best of their ability. You agreed to give them sustenance until they were old enough to create their own. You agreed to guide them, steer them, teach them how to live in a body on a planet, how to get by. Now, ideally, in a perfect universe, if you will, now you take a breath. You take a breath, you have a deep sigh. Now you hand them over to the universe to take it from here. You can call it God, the universe, the angelic, archangelic, celestial realms, whatever it may be for yourself and your particular perceptional belief system. But regardless, you hand them over to the universe, your source, God, or whatever best appeases your belief system, Allah, Ra, whatever. Now they go about their own journey. Maybe you'll meet up with them for the holidays. Maybe you won't. It's not good, bad, or indifferent. But now they're free. You're free. Maybe you become good friends. Maybe you don't. But it's now, okay, you've honored your, quote, responsibility, if you had one, in the first place, but now you hand them over. So now, I'll call that the most simplistic, but coming back through your only responsibility, if you even want to call it that, is your divine responsibility. So you put your heart into as who you are. For me, I would say my agreement with myself, not a duty, not an obligation, not a responsibility, just my agreement with myself is that no matter what I'm doing, when I'm doing, how I'm doing, I'm going to put my best into everything. Whether it's washing a window, washing a dish, cleaning a litter box, ironing a shirt, pants, doing laundry, folding laundry, doing the yard, I'm going to put my heart into whatever I'm doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother doing it. What's the point? But that's my agreement with myself, because I know everything that I put my heart into, I know I'm going to give it my all. Otherwise, it's like, why bother? And it's a feel-good thing, not a pride thing. Pride's all based in ego. It's a feel-good thing. So when I'm done, I know that I did it to the best of my ability, and I know it's not something that's gonna need to be repeated tomorrow because I didn't put my heart into it. Now, even from wiring, plumbing, anything and everything. Now, for all of us, for a moment, let's take this into the day-to-day world. We'll call it hypothetically the real world, but it's kind of funny because what makes it real or not real is all a matter of perspective. What I'm talking about is everything is real. And where we take a breath, okay, we go into the office. we become an employee, an employer, we put on this hat, that hat, or whatever. Or maybe we're a house caretaker or whatever. Well, there's no rhyme or reason. Is that we put our hearts into anything, anywhere that we're going to engage with. So from here, if I'm going to the office, I'm not changing who I am. The only thing that's changing is the place where my body is. So I'm not putting on a mask. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I'm not looking for approval. I'm not looking for others, attaboy or attagirls. I'm just know I'm going to go in wherever I'm at and do what I do, when I do, how I do, no matter what I'm doing, when I'm doing, where I'm doing. And I'm still just going to be me, whatever that means for each and every one of you. To me, it's be love, as love, express love, which means enlightenment, which means to lighten the load and let go of the baggage that holds you prisoner, which is the whole definition of enlightenment. The absence of density, which even breaks down to the absence of judgment. So now we look at, with this question, we look at, okay, what are we attempting to do to prove ourselves? Whom's approval are we looking for? What part of ourself are we feeling, not even feeling, but perceiving that either we're not good enough, whether we have a certain part of ourself perceiving that it has a lack of ourself or a lack of worth that we're seeking from someone else? Approval, acceptance, which is kind of interesting because, you know, it goes to, if you take 100 dear ones in your live stream, put them all in a room, and you ask each one in that, out of that 100, what they perceivably think about you, you're going to get 100 different answers. Now, here's the trap. It is a trap. Because now you're going to get 100 different answers from 100 different filters, from a whole 100 different journeyers, that everyone has a different filter based on their own experiences. They're all going to see you differently and want something totally different out of the 100. And we could have had the same experience. We could have all been on the same trip. We could have been living together or growing up together, blah, blah, blah. But the honest thing is, no one's going to have the same answer. Now, the tricky part here, the confusing, dyslexic part is, well, which one are you going to listen to? The ideal part is to just listen to yourself, and you're doing things with them, maybe sometimes for them, because it feels good, not because you have to. Responsibility, that turns into a very carnal thing from the solar plexus down. That's why your stomach turns and you put like your whole self-esteem on your shirt sleeve of pass and fail. It's a very carnal level that everyone's get caught up into, to let themselves be judged by the falsity of the ego to be pass or fail. And it's a very intense energy game. 1 minute, everyone's going to hypothetically accept you. 2 minutes later, they're going to reject you. So the only approval you really may want to rethink about and start looking for is your own. That's why to thine own self be true, which doesn't mean push everyone away. It's just the oxymoron here is, the more that you are true to your heart, the more you're true to yourself of the heart, the more it's going to complement everyone else beneficially. Now, I don't want anyone to mistake what I just said, because I'm not saying everyone's going to want to throw you a parade. Some are going to want to throw you up on a cross, but that's about them once again. Not about you.
Fabulous, William. Here's another question. When I was doing Qigong on a friend yesterday, it says the vision, but I think it means to say my vision was morphing. What was happening there?
Now, can you repeat that, Michael?
When I was doing Qigong on a friend yesterday, my vision was morphing. What was happening there?
What was happening is that you are opening up, expanding, metamorphosizing, and you're also going beyond all of your, I guess I'd say, old bounds, barriers, limits. You're watching them dissolve of your self-imposed limits, and you're watching them evolve and become lighter, more expansive, more vibrant. And you're also opening yourself further and further to also open up to receive even higher and higher vibrational frequencies in megahertz of light and megahertz of pure creator consciousness, to where it's something you want to celebrate. Now, there's a flip side to this too, because we're doing Qigong or energy work or whatever you may be doing. The coolest thing is to welcome in the highest vibrational frequency of energy that is going to be in the highest and best good of the recipient. Now, so we're going in there. And the coolest thing and the most important thing about it is to not put limits on it. It's not about you. Once again, you're that clear and perfect conduit of divine love and truth. Sometimes it's going to feel heavier. Sometimes it's going to feel lighter beyond light. Sometimes it'll feel a little bit more airy. Sometimes it'll feel your body will be on fire and you're going to feel a lot more intensity. But please do know it's not about you. You're welcoming in the vibrational frequency and megahertz of light of what's going to best complement the dear one that is receiving it. So the thing is stepping beyond conditions, expectations, and becoming that clear and perfect channel of divine love and truth that's going to benefit the dear one in front of you. Now, your body, say the energy is more intense, say it feels heavier. I want to be very clear, it's not derogatorily affecting you. Your body's going to recalibrate, it's going to further expand. Every time you're doing energy work, regardless of the energy, it's still accelerating the vibrational frequencies and megahertz of light through your body. That's why whenever you're doing energy work, or love work, if you will, it's accelerating. And it's a win-win for all concerned. Now, the issue comes when you start to identify or start to project your spin on how it should be for your friend or a dear one or what they're going through. So right now, let's just take a breath. And my angel and I, like when I put up the massage table, whenever I do a massage on her or energy work, she metamorphosizes into a beautiful dear one on her own journey, a facet of creator on her own journey as creator incarnate. So my bride, my angel, all of that goes to the wayside. Now I have a beautiful dear one right in front of me that I'm connecting, purifying, clearing, assisting, separate than anything personal. Same with our kitty cats, same with my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, on and on and on. We take the personal out of it. That right there is doing them a disservice, not a service. So we get all of our personal friend, family, foe, whatever, chuck it out to Nowheresville. I think that's in Wisconsin. Now from here, chuck it out there. And from here, now we're going in total with an open heart for whatever is in their highest and best good. And then when you're done, like I used to use an example, once my office door closes, okay, now it's game time. It technically is 24/7, but this is where all the personal is left outside the door. Now, when we do Qigong or whatever form of energy work there is, it's important that you're not, because when you get personally involved, there's all of these hooks hanging on, wanting it to be a certain way and blah, 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 rather than the pure, clear and perfect conduit of divine love and truth that you are. So great job. Now, when you're doing this, then we just take a deep breath again. Inhale for the count of 12 through your nose. Inhale all the way down below your navel for the count of 12. Hold for the count of 12. Then before you exhale, bring your palms of your hands in front of your heart, like in a praying position. Put your feet flat on the floor. And then on the exhale, a deep sigh, pushing your palms together, your feet into the floor, letting all of these new levels of yourself integrate, where the vibratory levels are going to increase and increase. And then you break energy, and breaking energy, it starts to become a point where it's automatic. But for right now, if you leave the room and you're going about your day and they're continuing to come to mind, blah, 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 that's where you stop for a minute, you take a breath, you go through the process of breaking energy, connecting from your heart to the sun, bringing a waterfall of light or waterfall. It could just be a waterfall or whatever floats your boat. It could be a waterfall of rainbows or just pure consciousness, light, running all the way through your body, your mind, your aura, just to bring you back. And then from there, you're clearing yourself of anyone and everyone else's energy. Now, number one, the part that allows that to happen in the first place, because you got to remember, when you're doing energy work, you're expanding. The only thing that ever allows that energy into you is very simple. It's when you're trying to be the one-upsmanship or when you're judging them. That's the only thing that has you take on their energy. So you break energy, and then you connect with the rest of yourself, put a waterfall of light, or it can be anything that you wish. It could be the kahuna break and all these other things. And then you break energy, you start to refill your space, claim your space, go through a waterfall of light, welcome back your energy, your power, your soul fragmentations. Then, cleared and purified, then now you're back to yourself. Then you sit back and you ask yourself, okay, we might have had some sort of familiarity. Maybe we had live streams together, great. But in that moment when you're facilitating, none of that matters. You're there as a conduit, a facilitator. That's why we want to get away from all these terms, healer and on and on and on, because if we really break down the whole healer thing, this is where we go back to the first question. If you're taking responsibility for their healing, then you by default have to take responsibility for their illness. This is how facilitators get sick. And you start passing their illness through your body, so they're feeling better, you're feeling drained, so they can give you a pat in the back and say, attaboy or attagirl. So they're leaving pumped, and you're going to be in your bed for the next however long. And I'm using these as examples. At first, maybe not so much, but it will grow and grow and grow. Then when you sit alone, if that does occur, you break energy, everything is shared, and then you go through your consciousness closing doors of each and every dear one that's coming to mind, or situation that's coming to mind. Just close the doors. It's just closing doors of consciousness, so it's no longer affecting you. Because they are multidimensional doorways that are very much still going on.
Thank you, Will. Daniela has a question. How do I know when I'm awake to my heart?
Well, it's a very simple one. And so right now, let's just bring your consciousness and even put your hand right on your heart. But it's a feeling. It's a presence. It is a feeling, not an emotion. So right now, just put your hand on your heart. Let's close your eyes. Focus your eyes through your third eye. Now, let's have fun with it for a moment. Let's bring either your partner or let's simplify it. Let's bring the whole planet out in front of you. Now let's bring all the great humanity on that planet out in front of you and everything that's going on out in front of you, separate from you. Now, this is really going to be kind of like the backup truth serum for you. You look at this going on, you look at wars going on, battles going on, you look at kids getting student of the month, you look at light bulbs going on, you look at long-term beneficial changes occurring, things coming up to a head, reaching exposure, which is also going into long-term beneficial change for the whole of all the brilliant dear ones in a body on a planet. You look at, what is it, Lahaina, you look at the polar ice caps melting, you look at all this other stuff. Now, I want you to just now take another breath. Now, I want you to look at it, bring your consciousness through your heart, look through your heart at the whole planet, all the brilliant things that are going on. Now, I'm calling them brilliant, but right now, I want you to look at it. Now, this is where it's like a backup truth serum for ourselves. What are you seeing? Then what are you feeling? If you're seeing pain, torment, suffering, if you're seeing starvation, if you're seeing dear ones homeless, if you're seeing all the Lahaina, dear ones suffering, getting burnt up, going without, their homes are burnt down, what are they going to do? I want to stop you right there. This is not your heart. That's your head. That's the ego and the emotional roller coaster. That's why if you look at Russia, Ukraine, blah, 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 and you're seeing all the woe is. Okay, once again, that's your ego. That's not your heart. So let's go into your heart, take a breath. Now let's ask, with your hand on your heart, show me the truth. Ideally, what you would be feeling through your heart is love. And part of love, an attribute of love, is called compassion. That, dear brothers, I really wish that wasn't going on for you. But since it is, would you like for it to be different? Where are you? Where would you like to go now? Dear ones, I understand that your whole perceptual comfort zone is being shaken up. Now, what would you like to go different? Where would you like to go? What would you like to do now other than being contained in that small, tiny little pocket that you've obviously outgrown, called a comfort zone of pain is bad, comfort is good, the point of life is to be undisturbed, to where, wow, obviously you've totally outgrown that. Otherwise, none of this stuff would be happening. So, wow, you've outgrown it. So where would you like to go now? That would be the heart of compassion. I don't find humor with that. I don't find anything about it except, great, okay, looking at the big picture through your heart, but now looking at the bigger picture through your heart, okay, those platelets of the planet, those platelets of the grid system of the planet, above and below, it's all being lit up, purified, divinitized. If you look at it further, all those platelets of the planet, there's the violet flame going on, purifying, divinitizing, re-sacredizing. So now it's not sacredness by a belief system or culture, color, creed. It's bringing back the sacredness of the land, the purity of those vortexes, and clearing out everything that is not of the highest purification, divinitization, mysticalness. It's clearing out all that stuff that's been stagnated, that's been so buried underneath. It's bringing all that up, goodbye, 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 to where now it's assisting the whole planet, everywhere on the planet, the whole planet as a whole, to speed up, open up, leveling out the axes, leveling out the poles and everything, upper equator, lower equator, the South Pole, North Pole, all the alignments, to where the whole planet as a whole is expanding, evolving, and clearing off her decks without shaking herself up for the 8th time to remove humanity again. So I say that is a pretty darn beautiful thing that's going on. And that's happening because you're waking up, you're coming out of, waking up from the ego, waking up from your slumber, speeding up, opening up, accelerating with so much more speediness, which is affecting the weather patterns and, of course, affecting the planetary templates. Then, of course, the planetary templates becoming that beautiful crash for you again. So now we're dancing side by side like a slingshot with the planet. You're accelerating, the planet accelerates. Then you accelerate, the planet accelerates. All of it ascending in vibrational frequencies and megahertz of light. No longer flooding, sinkholes, no longer Merva, the asteroid belt, turning the planet on its axis, exploding the planet to create planet Earth number 8. And you're starting to walk into the whole idea of the new Earth, which the new Earth is already here as the planet is speeding up into the 5th dimensional plane. Now, to go there, it's all this lower level attributes that are being moved out to allow for the 5th dimensional plane to come in. That's what's really happening through your heart. That's how you know that your heart is opening, divinitizing, and accelerating. Isn't that awesome? So refreshing.
Amazing, Will. Let's go for another question here. I feel limited in my expression when singing and dancing because of the chronic tension in the body. How do I release all tension from the neck and shoulders, diaphragm, pelvic, girdle, jaw, and hips?
Very simple. So right now, let's sit back in your chair. Once again, let's focus the eyes towards the third eye, or put a rock in your hand, or a remote, a pin, whatever, in the palm of your hand. Just dropping your hands, just feeling it on the arms of your chair or whatever, just feeling the weight of whatever you put in your hand. If you're wearing a watch, great. Let's sit there and just feel the weight of the watch around your wrist, or your necklace, or your eyeglasses. Let's sit back and just take a few deep breaths. Let's not force it. Let's just slowly inhale through the nose, preferably to about the count of 10. Just observing, inhaling for 10, encouraging it down to your solar plexus, if not lower. Hold for 10. Exhaling through the mouth like you're trying to gently blow a candle out for the count of 10. Just doing this about, let's make it 7 times. Eyes still focused towards the third eye. And on each exhale, let's share with your body and your mind. Mind, you're safe, I'm safe, all is well. Body, you're safe, I am safe, all is well. Mind, you're fine, I'm fine, all is well. Body, you're fine, I'm fine, all is well. Mind, you've done a great job maintaining all these millennia. You've done a great job achieving, superseding, and great job. Body, you've done so much throughout all these millennia, so great. And you know what? You're like a Timex watch. You've taken a licking and kept on ticking, regardless of myself and regardless of the ego. Regardless of the upbringing, regardless of the highs and lows, you know, body, wow, you are so amazing. And thank you so much, body, for hanging in there. And let's really thank the body. The heart's still beating, lungs are still working, still got a liver, still got organs, still have whatever mobility you have, still have a brain. So body, hey, great job, buddy. And now, all right, body, you know, now we can lighten up. Now, you know what? We no longer need to put on the football pads to go into the world. We no longer need to put on the football pads to go into relationships. We no longer need to put on the night gear, like all the armor, to go into battle mode. You know, let's show your body a picture of just being a child again. Frolicking through the forest or running through the water at the beach, just playing around, not a care in the world, with a bucket and a shovel, just on its own adventure. We're just right now, let's really give ourselves, our mind and our body permission just to lighten up, to go play, to become freer and freer again. Nothing serious, no past, no fail. Not getting anything right, not getting anything wrong, because getting it right and getting it wrong, let's just take a breath. And you know what? It's so bizarre because the right and the wrong is only been cursed upon me via the rules of others. So right now, there is no right or wrong. Now we don't got to compare ourselves to anyone else nor anything else any longer. Right now, body, hey, you're love. Mind, hey, you're love. And hey, I'm love. You're light, I'm light. And all is well right now. So right now, we're not operating for this moment by any of the exponential world's rules. Not your mom, not your dad, not your granny, not your grandpa, not your culture, color, creed, not the world. We're right now, we're just digging up sand, flinging it, looking for seashells or whatever we find. Right now, we can be playing in the water. Right now, we can be making mud pies. Right now, we could just be walking out in the yard or out in the forest, playing, adventuring, exploring, where it's just, there's no end of what we will find. We have no rules. We have no barriers. We don't have any fear because fear hasn't been taught. That all came from the outside world. It's not your natural state. That's all man-made. So right now, body, hey, you're fine, I'm fine, all is well. Mind, you're fine, I'm fine, all is well. It's just right now, just take another breath and watch how your body just starts, especially tonight, when you lay down, just really letting yourself play. No rules. If you dirty a dish, don't wash it just because you don't have to. Let's not be prim and proper. Let's not follow anyone else's rules for a moment. Where right here, right now, you have no pressure, no to-dos, no supposed to's, no should do's, no have to do's. That's all taught behavioral mannerisms. If you want to dress up today like a banana or tomorrow like a banana, go to work and great, let's go. If you want the next day to dress up like a green pepper, great. Or wear a gorilla outfit, great, more power to you. Only because you can. Not because you have to, not because you should or shouldn't, only because you can. Now, that's kind of the point. No one right here, right now, you're not comparing yourself, you're not identifying yourself, you're not dressing up like everyone else tells you you should, supposed to, got to do, whatever, however. You're not trying to prove anything. You're not trying to fit in, blend in. Right now, we're taking all that pressure off you, out of your mind, and out of your body. You may not decide to dress up like a banana, but it's not about not doing it. It's just that you may decide not to, but you're still giving yourself permission to do so, if you so choose. And what does that feel like? How's your body responding just because you can? Where no one, nothing can make you be or do anything that you're not or that you don't feel good about. The reality is that you don't even have to work. The ego has created all these hoorahs around, if you do, you got to, you're part of the machine, blah, blah, blah. If you don't, well, you're no good. Well, you're going to go broke. Well, you're going to live out in the cold. Well, and giving you all these song and dances like pressure. If you don't want to make dinner, don't make dinner. No one's going to starve. So it's like all this fun stuff that, we really wake up to. Why am I doing what I'm doing when I'm doing? Who's really telling me that I should, I ought to, I must do? Who's really telling me that this is just, I have to be responsible, whatever that, what in the heck does that even mean? Who died and made you everyone's go-to? When you don't have to be, it feels good to assist another, but not when you perceive that you have to. All right, Mr. Michael.
All right, William, thank you so much. This has been so fantastic. Thank you all for your questions. We really honor you and know that if you are looking to resolve or dissolve something or get some more clarity about something going on in your life stream, William does have one-on-one appointments available as soon as this weekend to assist us in being our true presence throughout our day. The greatest gift that we can be our loving, true presence.
And it's been truly an honor and a blast. So thank you so, so much, always.
Yes.
And great job, Mr. Michael, as always.
Thank you. See you next month.
See you next month. Namaste.